It's the show that's moving fast. It's called The Captain and the Real Deal Podcast with our brother Top Gun, our flight engineer. We're talking Vikings and Hawks, man, the tip of the spear, because we float past clowns with the greatest of ease. They just buckle down to their knees with the grip of a pit bull locked on the mic. We'll be tearing it up night after night. I'm Captain Luke, an operator. I could never be a faker, and I'm serving you lyrics better than a damn waiter. Rhyming on this microphone, and I just never am alone with Big Gold and Top Gun. You know we full grown. Can you hear my tone? I'm in the podcast zone, giving you a taste of my microphone. The homie by my side, he will make you glide. So Big Gold, slice and dice and bring this party inside. Cut it up, B Gold. We get the call with the ball and we're ready to maul. There's no competition, we will never fall. Ball could be in the air or for that 9 route. I shake and bake at the line of scrimmage and I'm out. And off to the house with 6 more for the squad, generating the speed of a NASCAR hot rod. On arrival, the 12s go mad. The opposition got the Emerald Nation is glad. So brace yourself for the show that's the most. While B Gold is spinning, I'm one of your hosts. We also got the real deal who makes his cameo with unfiltered thoughts that'll jam you, bro. And our technician, aka Top Gun, he'll test his skills for fun, and he's never on the run. I'm Captain Fook, unfadable, just like the real deal. The bigger the headache, the bigger the pill. That's a shout out to the homie George Clinton, the masters of the funk, yo. That's my opinion. So in 2022, and it's season 2, Captain Fook and the Real Deal are ready for you. If you're ready for us, there's no time to discuss. It's about that action, y'all. So get your butt on the bus, because the Captain and the Real Deal are ready to go. And if you are too, then let's start the show, because it's the Captain and the Real Deal Podcast. What's it called? It's called the Captain and the Real Deal Podcast. All right, then let's start the show.
Soldiers, 12s, and all you football fanatics. Welcome to another episode of the Captain and the Real Deal Podcast. On today's episode, them guys will bring you all the latest news and information for their respective teams, the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Damen und Herren, it's time for the podcast featuring Captain Fook and Billy Gold, aka The Real Deal. This is the only place that's talking Hawks and Kings, but to be specific, we're talking Seattle Seahawks and Minnesota Vikings. So strap up. We're taking you on a fantastic voyage, unlike any you've ever been on, so sit back and get ready to set sail to the emerald-rich lands of the Seattle Seahawks and the treasure-filled valleys of the Minnesota Vikings, with your hosts, Captain Fook and Billy Gold, aka The Real Deal. Let's get it.
Ouch! Welcome, football fans, the Scolders, and the 12s.
We are here.
Common
Limping.
pain amongst us. Welcome to the week 2 recap episode of the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. I'm Billy Gold, along with my co-host Captain Book.
What it is.
And the Maverick, our production engineer, Mike Shotgun Cruz.
Shake and bake, Mike. Shake and bake. Go get that victory. And now don't let him cross you. Don't let him cross you.
That'd be the only victory of the weekend.
Mike's got to win it for us. Get that W, Mike. Don't let them slide away. There we go. Let's go.
All right.
Let's jump in.
The energy's there.
It's there.
It's coming. It's coming. We have another great episode in store for you today as we're going to recap the week 2 matchups for our respective organizations and then preview the week 3 matchups. As always, probably a little extra this week. I suggest you fill up your solo cup. I got the yellow one. Sit back and get ready to keep on keeping on.
Let's go. That's the only way to do it.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, my brother.
You ready to roll?
I'm on the bridge. I'm ready to roll. Let's get it.
Okay.
I need some Advil, but let's get it.
So we're going to change things up moving forward. So let's get right to it. And I'm talking about, you know what it is.
Let's go.
Our awful weekend. Starting today with the recap of our respective teams. And it was not pretty. What I will say is, I show up at work all the time with some kind of purple on. And people know I'm a Viking fan. We're not allowed to wear something that says Minnesota Vikings or Skull or anything like that. But everybody knows I bring the purple, win or lose. And I got to tell you.
Was it painful today?
No, it was painful during Zimmer at the end. This is something, that's why I did give an incomplete. And there's a reason why I did that, because I knew there was going to be some growing pains. But that doesn't make the pain any easy.
No, it does not.
Okay.
Can't get away from it.
So, you want to do the Seahawks recap first, or the Vikings recap?
You know what?
First?
How much time do we have?
we got about an hour.
Let me first give a shout out to the Hawk fans and say what's up. And as B Gold always says, and just said it, football fans, we are still here. We understand what happened in the Emerald Nation, even though it didn't happen in the Emerald Nation. It happened to the Emerald Nation.
Correct.
With a heated, and I mean heated rival. You know, some people call them the San Francisco Whiners. They have names for us. They came into our house, and Top Gun recorded what happened when they came in to our house. Tell them what happened when they came in when we went into their house. How'd they treat us?
Ouch.
It was painful.
To the gut.
Haymakers, cross checks, uppercuts, jabs, double jabs. It was painful. But you know what? It's not time to throw the towel in. But we gotta talk about a few things as to why did the Seahawks, after looking really good on their first Monday night game, the last game of week 1, season 1, look so bad, just a few days away on a Sunday in not Candlestick anymore. It's called whatever the heck it's called. Who cares? Santa Clara or whatever, Santa Monica, Santa something. Not Santa Claus, though.
I think I had more rush yards on the way to the podcast than the Seahawks had during the game.
You may have. We had some problems, and it started with controlling the line of scrimmage or not controlling the line of scrimmage. Offensively, defensively, we had a problem controlling the edge. And for those that don't know what that means that when the offense has the ball, you want to try to turn, if you're a defensive end, everything inside, get leverage, force every play back inside. If you don't do that with our 3-4 defense, we have problems. And we had, guess what? We had problems. We did. The 49ers, and I said before the game, I want Trey Lance to play bad, but not bad enough to where Garoppolo comes in. And unfortunately for Trey Lance, he broke his ankle, and I do wish him well and speedy recovery. Garoppolo came in and did what I thought he might do to us.
He's a manager.
He is. He's a very intelligent quarterback. He was extremely elated, if you saw him, to get into the game. And he came in and basically didn't do anything to lose the game.
Think of what he did for his future, right?
Yeah.
He took a pay cut to get a full free agency next year where they can't do anything to him.
They can't touch
right?
him.
And he also put all these incentives in that if he became the starter, he could actually reach a really good number.
Exactly.
He played the hand well.
And he does what he does. So let's get into the numbers a little bit so you'll like this because this is your forte. Geno Smith was 23 for 30, 197 yards with an average of 6.6 yards per pass. He had 1 interception. He had a QB rating of 51.4. That's not really going to get it done. But Jimmy's numbers weren't that much better, except he had a defense that was working for him all day. He was 13 for 21, 154 yards, 7.3 yard average, 1 touchdown, no interception. So there's a turnover problem. And he had a QB rating of 60.4. Trey Lance was 2 for 3 before he went out. He had 30 yards, a 10-yard average, no picks, no interceptions, and a 50.9 QBR. So their ratings, 99.3 was his total rating for Trey Lance. Garoppolo was 100.1, and Geno was 80.2. Not stellar, but more needed to happen. We had 10 penalties. San Francisco had 1. And I think I mentioned that we were playing in Frisco territory. So not saying that, the refs
Are you calling out the refs?
No, I'm not saying they were jaded. I'm just saying
like that.
They called a lot of penalties on us. But to be honest with you, the ones where we jumped off sides, you can't hide that. Some of them PI calls, I wasn't really feeling it. There was a pass that we had called back that I'll talk about later that was unfortunately called back for a lineman downfield by one of our rookies. That really, really hurt, and you'll know why when we talk about it. Where did our running game go? Rashad Penny,
Thank goodness I didn't play him in fantasy.
Poised to explode. He had 6 carries for 15 yards. His longest was 6 yards. He averaged 2.5 yards. That's not going to get it done. No. Kenneth Walker, the rookie, he had some stuff, 4 for 10, 2.5 yard average, though. Travis Homer, Socrates is listening.
Did he sign him yet?
2 for 9, 4.5 yard average.
He might
the longest run yard we had was 8. You can't have an explosive play and set up the defense with those type of lackluster offensive explosive plays. Let's take a look at the 49ers. Jeff Wilson had 18 carries for 84 yards, solid average of 4.7 with a 16-yard burst.
I picked him up in fantasy.
Deebo Samuel, who's dangerous, 4 for 53. His longest was 51. And then you got Tyrion Davis-Price, 14 carries.
He's a rookie,
20
right?
20-yard was his long. So you're seeing they're committed to the run. They also had the ball a lot more than us. We talked about this all year last year. Possession, time of possession. If you can't possess the ball, how are you going to give your team a good chance to win? So we had the ball for about 21 minutes, which means the rest of the hour football game, the 49ers controlled the ball. Beginning of the game, our defense held up. We had a couple of stops inside the red zone where we didn't give up touchdowns. But then fatigue and lack of discipline helped us lose. Now, special teams tried to play hard. And I will highlight a play specifically on a situation where we had a rookie and a man who's been on a journey, and he doesn't stop until he gets enough.
He's off the wall.
He had a heck of a play. He is off the wall, god dang it. He was trying to beat it, but we couldn't. We couldn't get it done. So that part was very frustrating. They threw to Tyler. Tyler had a good game. Tyler Lockett had 9 catches for 107 yards. He was targeted 11 times, and he had a long of 27. But we need more. And I don't want to start putting the focus on Mr. Waldron just yet. But we had the tight ends really getting it in during the first week.
Wait, when we got you in the car last year,
yeah,
were you after him or did you go after somebody else? When you were going through all those lights,
I should have been looking for him, but I ain't that type of guy.
No, we had the episode when you.
I just wanted to talk.
All right,
that's all I wanted.
Same
to do.
dude, though, right? Same dude.
Well, yeah, Shane Waldron. I just want to know what's going on. And again, I liked what I saw in the first week. I know we're young, and that's the part that's going to be painful this year. Is that when the youth shows up, it's going to be in some of the worst spots. I do believe our team is going to get better. I love our corner, Tyrique Woolen. I'll have him D up against any wide receiver in the NFL. And going back to offense, I still say Tyler Lockett is the most polished receiver in the league. And he will continue to do that until he's ready to shut it down, which ain't going to be for any time soon.
Is he like at the airport doing shoes or something? When
No.
you say polished?
No, he's just the most smooth-edged receiver in the NFL. He runs the best routes out of anybody, has the softest hands out of anybody. He doesn't care if we're losing. He still gets open and catches everything that comes his way. He needs help, though. And I don't think DK can do it by himself because they're doubling him, probably tripling him. And the offensive coordinator has to figure it out because, like I said last year, how come everybody else's number one receiver can't get stopped? Although we can talk about what happened to JJ.
Exactly.
But he blew it up in week 1, and they knew he was their number one guy.
Absolutely.
So
who is your number one guy? Metcalf or Lockett?
DK's our primary guy. And Tyler can be number one, but the offense is set up for DK to be featured and let everything kind of go around him and Rashad Penny. When you become one-dimensional in the NFL, guess what happens to you?
Yeah.
You're ineffective. When they can predict
You
what you're
lose.
going to do,
Yeah.
it's too easy for defenses to scheme. They are so smart. People don't understand
Can't wait to
it.
talk. Can't wait to talk about that.
I look forward to hearing it. So their receiving game was good. They had 184 yards receiving. Smart football by Frisco. It's painful to say it. Got to talk briefly about turnovers. Xavier Crawford, we just signed him from the practice squad. He was on special teams. Tyler Lockett was returning punts. He's been to the Pro Bowl as a punt returner. Mr. Crawford is backing up and bumps into Tyler. That ain't on Tyler. He's focused on the freaking rock.
You know what? You know what? And I'm surprised that you're not going this angle.
Maybe I will when I hear it. What you got?
He was pushed.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I just noticed that you were too close to the freaking
He was too close.
receiver.
Now the guy pushed him and then went like this.
Oh, and the refs was like, that's cool.
Well, it could,
They clearly did that. They said that because they didn't throw a flag.
yeah. Well, you know what? One penalty doesn't lose a game.
No, it doesn't.
It frustrates you.
Yeah.
But
at the end of the
we
day,
can do that all the time.
Crawford's got to have better awareness, and he will.
He should. There's got to be that buffer.
Right.
Got to be that 5-yard buffer.
Right.
Don't go near there. Don't give the opportunity to your opposition to give you a little bump to fall into your guy.
Especially when we needed a play. We needed some momentum, and we couldn't gain it. And when we tried to get it, we got called back. Now, I want to touch defensively really quickly because we have some things that were good. I mentioned Cody Barton last week. Him and Jordan Brooks both had 11 tackles this week, 22 tackles. That's kind of how this defense is geared if things work correctly with our defensive tackles and our 3 technique, the nose guard guy. But we do need more. Neither one of them had a tackle for loss. That's a problem for me. Now, Al Woods, our defensive lineman, who I love.
I like him too. He's a big dude.
He's a monster.
He's a monster.
He might even put somebody in the Monsterizer machine before the season's over.
He's a big.
He had 3 tackles for
He's a
loss,
big
and he
dude.
had 7 on his own.
He's
and he had
like-
a pass defended. Did you see him bat the ball
He's
back?
not even rectangular. He's square. I mean, he's just like
He's
this
a big fella.
He's like a big block of ice.
Now, I love Quandre Diggs. Everybody knows that, but I did see him miss what should have been for him a routine tackle by lack of discipline. The running back's pads got lower than his, and when that happens, you set yourself up to not make the play. Low pads generally win in the NFL, but I wanted to give them some highlights. And my guy, who you seem to be becoming a fan of, Uchenna Nwosu, he may not have 15, 12 tackles on here, but that guy puts heat on the offensive packages. And I mean, I don't have the timestamp, but he might have gotten a Bam Bam award if we would have won. He let Garoppolo have it in the 4th quarter.
They were aware of him this week, so he didn't have the same impact as last week.
No,
but
he
that's because they had eyes on him this week.
Well, yeah, and we were missing some problems with controlling the edge, and it's just kind of frustrating. But again, I have to remind myself that we're a very young team. We're going to make some mistakes. We got to clean up the penalties, though. We have to do that. If we don't do that, every game could be like it used to be being a Seahawks fan back in the day, where we fight for a quarter and then get our doors blown off the other 3, and that's very painful. I don't want to go through that this year. We have a ton of talent. They will learn from this particular loss, and heaven help Atlanta this coming week. So I think I'm good on the
Well, you got a couple of things that follow this.
Yeah.
Typically for me, I'll do a game ball. So what you have a tip of the cap from the cap?
I do. Let me get my timestamp. I got more paperwork than normal this time because it's been a heck of a day. Yes, sir. I will be right there, my brother. All right. So my tip of the cap is going to go to 2 people. No, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna give tip of the cap to 2 people. I have to do this. So with about 6:37 left in the third quarter, we were down 0-20. We needed something. And then I heard somebody in the crowd say, "Don't stop till you get enough." And then they snapped the ball to the kicker. They were trying to, kick field goal. Or punt, I'm sorry. Tyrique Woolen, our long, lengthy rookie who's a baller, runs 4.26 speed, 6'4", a little unusual. He comes off the edge, blocks the kick. Guess who scoops it up perfectly? Michael Jackson.
The man with one glove.
And he was running like this. He ran it back to the house, got us a touchdown. Tyrique was right there. Great effort.
So you had one taking it to the house?
Yes.
Oh, we should have saved that for later.
Oh man, you're right. You're
what
right.
are you
But that was the
doing?
only time we got in the house.
Oh, you know what? So we'll just have to MJ when we're
Michael Jackson. That's 2 weeks in a row, though.
But yeah, but this one, Michael Jackson with house music? Are you kidding me?
You know what? You can bring him back up.
Oh, bro, we will.
Michael's no joke. So
we got that queued up for later.
He came through for us again. We needed the spark. We couldn't build on the momentum, unfortunately, but I love the effort, especially by Tyrique Woolen. He's starting at corner. He's going in there on special teams and giving it everything he has. And that type of effort right there can be contagious, and it will be contagious. So he gets the tip of the cap. Mentioned earlier, no Bam Bam moments of the week this week. Although Boye Mafe from Minnesota, defensive end from your state.
Preface that by saying Minnesota College.
Minnesota College.
Right, University of Minnesota.
Roger that.
Okay.
University of Minnesota Gophers.
Yes.
He had a nice play off the edge, and he held the edge too, which was impressive. So he may get more run this week because if you can't hold the edge, I don't think Pete's going to keep you in there.
All right. You got segue to the Monsterizer moment?
Let's get it. I'm ready to segue into the Monsterizer moment of the week if there's a prelude. If there's no prelude, I'll go right in.
The prelude was, we're at the Monsterizer moment of the week.
I thought I was going to get a little introductory hype, but I guess not. So
I know we had planned something, but I'm not sure. Is that ready to go?
I thought it was, but hey, guess what? If it ain't, it ain't. Let's move on.
All right.
So with about 7 minutes and 8 seconds left in the second quarter, Geno Smith takes a snap. He hands the ball off to Mr. DK, or excuse me, who the heck did he hand the rock off to? He handed it off to a running back. I don't know if it was DJ Dallas or if it was Kenneth Walker III. Kenneth Walker III throws the ball back to Geno. Geno throws the rock 52 yards to DK Metcalf, who goes up in the air with one hand and about 2 to 3 49er defenders around him. He puts them all in the Monsterizer machine and catches the rock. Huge momentum changer. Seahawks are back in action. We're only down by 13 points or whatever. It was 0-20 at that time, too. And we had it taken back because our rookie went downfield, and he's an offensive lineman. You can't run routes if you're an offensive lineman. When we're passing.
Illegal man downfield?
Yes. Illegal big man downfield.
That was 6 times in the Viking game yesterday.
It was painful. Oh, I can't wait to hear about that. So that was painful because it was going to give us that momentum. We were back in the red zone, and it would have been first down and 10 at the 15-yard line. DK gets back in the game. Air taken out of the balloon. It was painful. Painful. So
is that your recap?
Even though, we lost the play on that possession, that's a Monsterizer moment right there. And if you watch the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. We got more coming. All right, B Gold. Right, take us to the next level, brother.
I'll give you the Vikings recap. And I promise the audience we do have some starting point to the Monsterizer segment, and whether it's this week or next week, we'll get that.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right, let's get to the Vikings recap. This is why I gave an incomplete grade to Coach Connell. Ugly performance. Last week, beating your hated rival, the Packers, spot on. Coming back and laying an egg like this. Now, this was a game that was a snowball effect, and as we go through it, you'll understand why. First of all, I sit down. I got the weights. I usually do a little arms during the game, just get me pumped up.
Gotcha.
And I turn the game on, and I forget who the announcers are.
Oh, your friends were there.
I'm going,
Tell the audience who your favorite NFL color announcers are.
OMG. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Homer, Aikman, and Buck. Thank goodness that your dad got you a job. Awful. Anyway, I tried to go to the radio broadcast, but it didn't line up with the plays.
Yeah, I had that problem with Sirius too because I love our announcers, but yes.
I had to go back to these two chuckleheads. Anyway, we'll get off of them for this week because...
Did they impact the game?
Yes.
Did they impact the game on the field?
No, you said impact the game. Me watching it.
Your experience.
Me watching it is impacting the game.
That's your experience. I got it.
Okay. Vikings win the toss, and they defer to the Eagles, which typically is what happens around the NFL right now, who get the opening kickoff. Eagles methodically move down the field and finish the drive with a Hurts 3-yard TD run. 11 plays, 82 yards. He does need to get his own dance to stop trying to do the gritty.
Yeah, why was he doing that?
I don't. They try and... Everybody tries to do the gritty because they can't think of anything else. I saw some other... And there was one guy in the Rams that tried to do gritty, and it was comical. I saw it on a highlight. All right. So, down 7-0. Vikings get the ball back. Ready to respond. 3 and out.
I know that life.
Nice job. Yeah. All right. Eagles get the ball back. Vikings defensive end Danielle Hunter sacks Hurts on 3rd down. Eagles punt to the Vikings 39. Vikings get the ball back. Hey, made a stop. Down 7-0. Ready to get the pedal to the metal. You know, let's mix some cooking. You know, let's get Thielen. Let's try Irv Smith. You know, KJ Osborne. Let's spread the ball around, spread the wealth around. You know, maybe a screenplay. Try something.
Yeah,
3 and out.
I couldn't get the Jalahorn going to nothing.
But I will say my new favorite punter.
That's your guy.
Punts it to the Eagles 18. Nice job.
Can't ask for more there.
End of the first quarter. 7-0 Eagles.
Gosh.
All right. Eagles, they get a 53-yard TD pass from Hurts on a blown coverage by our safety, Cameron Bynum. He bit on an out to the sidelines where there already was a cornerback there covering. And Watkins blew by him 14-0. I'm going.
Better check, make sure you don't have any bets in Vegas.
14-0. Now, he shouldn't even, he's starting now because our number 1 pick isn't ready to play yet, Sign. But Sign's got to get his rear end in there. You know, we need him in there. Our other number 1 pick, Cameron Booth, the cornerback, he hasn't played yet either. Now, they did play a couple plays. They got some small injuries. They're taking their time with him. They're bringing them in. So I'm trying to have some patience. But if anybody who knows me and what I've dealt with as being a Viking fan, I don't have a lot of patience.
Understood.
But I'm trying. It's a new coach, a new regime. I'm doing my best. So as you can see, I'm hanging in there.
You are. The real deal has not showed up.
The Vikings get the kickoff, and they answer with a 9-play, 75-yard, and finish it with a 2-yard TD pass from Cousins to tight end Irv Smith.
Nice.
14-7. Shoo. Eagles get the ball back. A couple plays, maybe 6 plays. They punt. Vikings get at the 26-yard line. Vikings are poised to get back in the game at 14-7. Ready to respond.
A little momentum. Let's go.
Momentum. 3 and out.
So at this point, you've seen too many 3 and outs, right?
Punter comes in again.
Okay.
Punts it to the Eagles' 15-yard line. We pinned him inside the 20.
Punter's on
this
his
guy's
game.
He's hitting 60-yard punts.
He's handling
no
his business.
returns. He's handling his business. He's a rookie out of Tulane. I think he's nailing it.
Green wave.
Exactly. What happens? Eagles drive down the field and Hurts finishes off with a 26-yard TD run.
Now, does he hit up the dance when he gets in there?
He does not this time, but
Okay.
again, our safety, Bynum, had a chance to stop him. Awful tackling. 21-7 Eagles. This guy, Bynum, he's had some moments last year, and they made him a starter this year. They didn't think Sign was ready, but it might be time to move on.
Wow. How many years has he been in there?
He's just he has just played a handful of games starter last year, but never been a full-time starter.
You're not seeing it though.
I'm not seeing. There's a little talent there, but not in this. Not from what I saw this week. Okay, Vikings get the ball back. Cousins sees the coverage, reads the coverage, looks to the left, throws over the coverage to Irv Smith. There's nobody between Irv Smith. He could have crawled to the end zone from 35 yards out. That's how bad he beat the play.
Tell us how he got to the end zone.
He didn't. He dropped the ball. It was a key play.
So this is piling up.
Right. You make that play, it's 21-14.
Right.
You're back in the game.
Right.
This was a gut punch. It was a key play. This guy, Irv Smith, he's either injured or he just doesn't live up to his potential. This is plays like these is why it might be time at the end of the year. He doesn't make a lot of money, but I don't think he's a long-term answer. You know, Johnny Mundt, the guy they brought over from the Rams with Coach O'Connell, made some good plays. He had a key drop later, but I don't see much difference between Irv Smith and Johnny Mundt, and Johnny Mundt can block. Irv Smith is more of a pass catcher. All right. Again, our punter, 61 yards to the Eagles' 2-yard line.
So he's balling out.
He's balling out.
Wow.
So the Eagles get the ball back before halftime. They run 2 plays, and it's 3rd down and 5. Minnesota calls a timeout. The Eagles respond with a 1st down and then go down the field and kick a field goal. They're up 24-7 at half, which ends up being the final score, by the way. So they're 24-7 at half. But the second half is very interesting. I did not like the defensive philosophy in the first half. No spying, no blitzing. Ed Donatel, what's up, dude? I'm coming for you if you're going to continue to do this. All right? You played shell coverage the whole game. Does anybody know what shell coverage is? Shell coverage, you have your defensive line, you have your corners up on the line, but your safeties are back. So the top of a shell has a little curve. Shell coverage leaves that middle of the field open for crossing routes, dump-offs, slants. You can't play the same defense all the time. To give up the big play, you can't. You're not going to do that, but and I see it a lot in the NFL, the shell coverage, I'm not a big fan of it.
It sounds eerily familiar to prevent defense, which is your favorite defense. Not.
Right. Not.
That's playing a little bit
exactly
hesitant.
Exactly.
Maybe scared.
If you got Harrison Smith on one side as a safety,
he's a beast.
Let him be the guy that moves up and goes back and makes the decision in or out. He did leave the game with a concussion. We'll see if he plays next week. All right. Vikings get the ball in the second half. They drive down the field. They're on like the 15-yard line of the Eagles, poised to go in for a touchdown and make it 21-14. Jefferson, JJ, Kid Dynamite.
Don't you tell me he made a drop.
Nope.
Okay.
He breaks the route. He was supposed to cut towards the post, and he didn't because who's the safety for the cornerback for the Darius Big Play Slay? He stepped in front of him so he couldn't cut across. Instead of running through him, he went towards the sideline and interception to Slay. Okay, that's not on Cousins. That wasn't Cousins' fault. Okay, Eagles get the ball back. So we had a chance right there to make it 21-14 second half. Eagles get the ball. They go all the way down the field and go for a field goal. It's blocked by Pat Pete and returned by Boyd to the Eagles' 30-yard line. After the block, when he blocked it, went 20 yards the other way. When Boyd picked it up, he stumbled a little bit, and he got tackled by his shoestring by the holder of all people.
Oh, it's not good.
It would have been a big momentum switch if they returned it to the house, and it would have been on the taking it to the house section later in the show.
There you go.
But a shoestring, he nipped him, and he fell over. Again, we get the ball back, decent field position. Cousins, another interception at the Eagles' 15-yard line. This one was on Cousins.
How many did he throw in the game?
I think he threw 3.
Oh, boy.
He's trying to force it. He should have had 5 because he kept trying. No, he kept trying to force it to Jefferson.
Yeah.
He wasn't looking anywhere else. His eyes were only looking left when Jefferson was on the left. They didn't move Jefferson around. He didn't come across the formation. He didn't line up in the backfield. When he was in the slot, Slay was already there. They did nothing to get him away from Slay.
That's too bad. Especially if he's locked in on him because he's your safety blanket.
Exactly, and that's their best corner. So O'Connell, first game on the road, going to be some growing pains. I'm gonna survive. End of third quarter, still 24-7. Though, if they had scored those 2 touchdowns, it's 24-21, and they should have scored those 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay? Eagles get the ball back. They punt to the Vikings 8-yard line after about 6 plays. What does Cousins do? He gets them to midfield, then he's sacked, and he fumbles at the Vikings 45-yard line, and we got a punt. So we punt down to inside their 20-yard line again.
This balling.
Punter is
like it.
great.
He's helping save the day.
Then the Vikings intercept the pass from Jalen Hurts, linebacker Hicks, and we got the ball at the 9-yard line. We score here and another big swing in momentum. If we had the other 2, this would have put us in the lead, right?
Yep.
What does Cousins do? Another interception.
Ooh.
That's his fault. It was tough to watch. You can't just target Jefferson all the time. I'm going to keep saying it. Mix it up.
You gotta,
Mix it up.
You gotta. We talked about predictability. You can't be predictable.
Mix it up. What? By the way, I haven't said Dalvin Cook's one name all day, all show.
What was his stat line?
He had like 45 yards on like 7 carries. Run the ball.
Oh, boy.
Try a screen. Yeah. Do something.
I know that pain, brother.
Okay. Eagles run some clock and punt. Vikings get some garbage time yards. Game over. 24-7. We didn't give up any points in the second half. You went that shell coverage, but I don't think the Eagles are forcing the issue. They were running clock. So no points in the second half. I'm putting that more on clock management for the Eagles just to run it down, They were dodging bullets left and right. We were shooting the gun, but we couldn't. None of the bullets would hit the target. Final thoughts. I said it a couple minutes ago. Get Jefferson in motion. Use him as a decoy and target other team members. How about a jet sweep? Let's try something. I'm not a coach, and I'm giving you terms. Use them. All right. Still, the defense can't stop the run. Find some cap space and bring in Ndamukong Suh. Bring him in. He's sitting there. He'll make a difference. Stop playing shell coverage. And how about blitzing once in a while? The Eagles blitzed Cousins 3 consecutive plays, and he couldn't handle it. You can't have 8 guys coming with 5 guys blocking. The numbers don't match up. One thing we did avoid in all this mess over the first 2 weeks, we avoided the 0-2 start of the season curse that usually says you're not getting into the playoffs.
That's exactly right.
So we have avoided that, and based on our schedule, there are some pundits that said we would start 0-2. So we did get by that. All right, let's get to the game balls. There aren't any.
Crickets.
There's no. Give one to the punter for setting field position.
He should get one.
Are you kidding me?
He was getting his work in. He did his job.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's move on to some open items from the previous episodes. Open item number 1, I didn't think we were ready yet, but I think you've accomplished that. Singing Michael Jackson. I know I was supposed to do it, but I heard a little bar in there.
Just a little bit. I got to give that man his props.
I'm checking that off. It's done.
I got to give him his props.
Okay. Open item number 2. It happens on Thursday.
Yes, it does.
And Thursday. You got to send Mike and I the time that this is going down.
Okay, you want to know when I do it?
Oh, we're going.
What time you guys?
Doesn't matter. We're canceling meetings. We're going.
Okay. Okay, cool. Absolutely cool.
We are going.
All right, let's go.
We're going.
You know what? That might come in handy if I fall out.
Yeah, if you fall, yeah.
Yeah, you can get the ambulance.
It might take 3 of us to carry it, but we'll get you.
Whatever it takes.
All right, let's get to something we started 2 weeks ago. The new segment by the numbers. In the history of the Minnesota Vikings, there have been 9 players that have worn the number 3. 5 of those 9 players were on the team for just 1 season. So let's take a look
at the
list. Kicker, Jan Stenerud, big time Chiefs kicker back in the day.
I met him.
Did you really?
I did when I was playing ball in college. He was I don't know if he went to school where I went to school, if he was he was doing something in the area, but he was at one of our practices. Very nice guy.
Yeah, great kicker.
He was really
nice. Played with us for 1 year. He's out. Kicker Eddie Murray. He's out. I might as well have had Eddie Murphy Murray. He's out. Quarterback Spurgeon Wynn, backup for 1 year. He's out. Punter Jordan Berry, who was my Hall of Fame punter last year after coming over from the Steelers.
Yes,
but
he
now
was.
Now that I got the rookie from Tulane, he's out. He's out.
You see how quickly you're forgotten in the NFL?
Exactly. One year. Quarterback Jake Browning, another backup practice squad quarterback.
Washington Husky.
Yeah, Washington Husky. You're right. So now we're down to the final four. Ooh, I like that, huh? It's almost like a basketball record.
It is.
The Vikings had big expectations in 1999, even after the awful loss they had in the 1998 season that ended their season when they were 15-1. They had a lot of the same players back, but Randall Cunningham, he didn't have the magic that following year. So, you know who the backup quarterback was then?
Who?
Former number 1 overall pick, Jeff George.
Oh, the cannon.
Right. After a 2-4 start, George was inserted into the starting lineup, and the team went on a tear, finishing the season with an 8-2 mark and making the NFC playoffs. 8-2 record over the time he was there. They won the wild card game, but then lost in the divisional round. He only had 10 starts for the Vikes in his career, but almost single-handedly saved an entire season with his efforts. So George is on the list. He still survives. Jeff George.
Okay.
Thank you. Next up is kicker Blair Witchcraft Walsh. With the way Walsh finished his career at Minnesota, it might be easy to forget just how good he really was. Mm-hmm. As a rookie, he was money, hitting 4 field goals in his first NFL game, including a 55-yarder as the gun sounded to send the game in overtime and a 38-yard in overtime to win it. He went 10 for 10 on field goals of 50-plus that season and had more than twice as many 50-plus yard field goals than the next closest player in team history. His 85% field goal percentage is third in the team behind Longwell and Gary Anderson, who missed the 1998 kick that would have sealed their 15-1 season, sent them to the Super Bowl. So he's on there. He remains alive. So right now we got George and Blair Walsh. Next up, Cameron Dantzler. He just switched to number 3 this year. He's our cornerback. This is his 3rd year with the Vikings. He did so. He moved to the number 3 to honor his friend Jeff Gladney, who was also a first-round pick that year. He was a first-round pick. Cameron was in the 3rd round. Gladney died in a car accident after Minnesota cut him.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say they cut him. They traded him because he had some off-the-field issues. All righty.
Ghost? With the witchcraft.
So that was Gladney. That was Gladney
Blair
saying.
Walsh.
No, that was Gladney saying, hey, you talking about me? I'm making sure you know I'm in the house.
Witchcraft. What's up, brother?
So the 2 youngsters, Gladney and Dantzler, formed a bond. Dantzler's our starting cornerback this year, opposite Pat Pete. He's been playing okay. You know, it's the opportunity's there for him. I think he passes some guys on this list. I think he passes Jeff George immediately. So I got it down to Dantzler, Blair Walsh, and the wild card here, Rich Karlis.
Who gets the nod?
Who was a kicker. Well, no, there's a good story here.
That does not surprise me
My
at
choice
all.
for the best Viking to wear number 3, before I get to the good story about Rich Karlis, who was a kicker for 1 year for us.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tell the story, it's very funny and you got to hear it.
We will hear it.
I'm picking Blair Walsh as my favorite.
Okay, that
number
makes
3
sense.
Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, you got to pay his respects.
He had a really good time with the Vikings before he had that throwing mechanism, in baseball when they can't throw at the first base anymore.
Yeah.
So the
That's
honorable
kind of a deal
mention,
breaker.
right? The honorable mention of the number 3 goes to Rich Karlis, kicker for the Vikings in 1989. He set an NFL record back then with 7 field goals in 1 game. 7 field goals in 1 game.
That's a heck of a day.
It's since been beaten by somebody who did 8. I believe it was a Tennessee kicker. But back in 1989, that took forever to beat.
Who'd y'all play? Do you know that game?
That is
I remember that being a big deal.
an open item. I will find that out.
Yeah, I remember that being a big deal.
All right. So this segues us into the fun facts for the week.
I know you're going to dig this.
The week before this game that Rich Karlis kicked 7 field goals, he was taped like a mummy by members of the Minnesota offensive line and hung upside down from the goalpost at the Vikings training facility. You might ask, why did they do this? Well, Karlis's wife, Dina, happened to mention to her sister-in-law, Kelly Loudermilk, who was the wife of the Vikings center at the time, Kirk Loudermilk, that she thought the Vikings offensive linemen dressed like slobs. This fashion critique made the rounds in the locker room, and Randall McDaniel said, "You have to be careful what you say about linemen. We never forget." We couldn't get her,
but they could get him.
so we had to take care of him, and we let him dangle for a while.
I believe it. I believe it. That is funny.
How cool of a story is that? All right,
That's good.
let's get to fun fact number 2.
I know you're gonna dig this.
The Arizona Cardinals stunningly conducted a late game comeback versus the Raiders on Sunday, erasing a 20-0 deficit in the second half. This has not been done since 2014 when the Vikings, that's why it's a fun fact, of course,
Why not?
outlasted the Tampa Bay Bucks in overtime thanks to a fumble recovery by then rookie Anthony Barr, who's now with the Cowboys, for 2,884 days. No NFL team had won a game in overtime via a fumble recovery for a score.
Scoop and score.
All right, so before we get to your number 3 for the Seahawks,
Yes.
I got a not so fun fact.
Let's hear it.
I know I'm going to dig this. Did you know,
Let's see.
Cap, that Seattle running back DJ Dallas played his college ball with the Miami Hurricanes?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
He only played 3 years there.
Okay, go ahead. I know where you're headed.
During this time, DJ attempted 2 passes
And it should have stopped there.
and did not complete either, but at least he did not have an interception.
Yeah.
Fast forward to this week,
Painful.
and he is now 0-3 with an interception.
Horrible.
What was the coaching staff thinking?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Did they check his college resume?
I mean, they might have ran that in practice and it might have looked good, but like, why are we doing that?
Well, because they saw he had some kind of stats for playing
But for
quarterback.
what?
I have no idea.
They had a 4 running back formation. In
I
there.
saw it.
Did you see that?
Where was Gino? On the sideline? Was he out
Man,
left on the wide receiver?
Get the people that are paid to block in the game.
Correct. What are you
And
doing?
get the people that are paid to tote the rock in
All right,
the
so
game.
you saw that play.
Did I? I mean, if I could have afforded to break my TV, I would not have. But I'm just like, really? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Stop
Trickery.
trying to get cute.
tomfoolery, right? Trying to do the
Can
tomfoolery.
I just say, I mean, really quickly on that, like, do you remember Earl Campbell and what defenses were thinking before they played him?
Yeah, I want to get out of the way.
Christian Okoye,
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Chuck Foreman,
Yep.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yep.
Let's do that.
Bo Jackson.
Let's force that to happen. Absolutely. Bo Jackson.
Yep.
Let's get in there and establish what you want to establish as a grown football player.
Yep.
Stop trying to get cute and fluffy
Yep.
and cute. Get that out of the equation.
That's
Let's
not
play some football.
That's not Monsterizer football.
Let's play football.
All right. So let's get
That's what we need to do,
Let's
bro.
get to the number. Glad you get a little emotions rising there. Let's get to the number 3
All right.
of the Seahawks.
All right. So I don't know where you find like every single person that's had the number. That's a hell of an historian for your team. I really like that. But there were 2 that stood out that wore number 3 for the Seattle Seahawks. Number 1, you may or may not know
I
this.
know. There's one was a quarterback.
Yeah, Rick Meyer.
Absolutely.
You remember him
I
from Notre
do.
Dame?
I remember seeing number 3. Yeah, but go ahead. Who's the other one?
One of the greatest college football games I've ever seen, just to digress a little bit, was Notre Dame playing Penn State. It was a snowy game.
Yeah.
Jerome Bettis was the running back, and Rick Meyer played a great game, and so did Jerome Bettis. And that defense the Irish had, it was a great game. And when we picked up Rick Meyer, I was like, this is great. He's going to be great in Seattle. His first year, he was productive, running for his life, and then his gas tank never got filled back up, and he didn't make it.
Sounds like a bunch of Notre Dame quarterbacks. Actually, there's a bunch of Notre Dame quarterbacks that never
struggle at the big level. Yeah,
They do.
So aside
Not
from him,
Joe Montana, but you know.
Joe was the man.
Exactly.
That was my favorite for a while.
And I think that's why they think all these Notre Dame quarterbacks are going to be good because of
Joe?
the ghost of Joe.
Joe was the man.
Yeah.
Joe Cool. So of course, and I have no shade.
Is Kitna on there? Is he?
Oh yeah,
did he wear
Johnny
number
Kitna.
3?
That's right, number 3. Yeah, Johnny Kitna.
You don't have him on your list.
I don't have him
Look,
on the list, but again,
I'm a Seahawk.
I don't
Hey,
have
12s. Hey,
I don't
12s.
have your website, but I do know that, though.
Deal. I'm not looking at no website.
Lock it down. Lock
the
it
real
down.
deal.
You got it. And yeah, Johnny Kitna, my bad, bro, because he's from the hometown anyway. He's from Tacoma, Lincoln High School product, and he had a nice football career in the NFL. But he would be above Meyer.
Absolutely.
For sure.
No question.
And then if there's another one out there that I don't know.
I just hit that one off the top of my head because when I knew I kept seeing a quarterback in number
John
3,
Kitna, that's
and
the
you
homie.
said Meyer, and I did remember that one, but I was thinking of Kitna.
Yeah, John Kitna, absolutely. So as I said, my bad to the city. The number 1, though, most legit number 3 that wore the Seattle uniform was Russell Wilson.
Oh, that's right.
Dangerous Russ. Got to pay his respects. We got to pay our respects to him and what he did. On that note, some people booed him at the beginning of the game.
Well, I got something new
in our house.
I got something later for him too.
I mean, I don't know what that was about because
I get the real
why
deal
would you
moment of
boo
the week
him?
for him. Yeah.
When the game starts and it's time to make noise and blow the ears off their helmets, that's what the 12s do. So I think that the people that were booing him may not be they might just be still sensitive about the whole situation. But
You think?
that wasn't as classy as I was expecting it to be. But it is what it is.
All right. So we did this segment by the numbers. I like that. I like that segment. It's unfortunate that there's only so many games in the year. So we might have, wherever we leave off, we'll have to start next year with the next number just called week 1.
Or pick some numbers that are
We'll pick random numbers.
high-frequency numbers.
Anyway, let's get to the ridiculous article of the week. It's not actually an article. So can I get a skull horn? It was
It's like asking for a popsicle or something.
It was
as a kid,
actually-
or an ice cream sandwich.
It was actually the opening for Monday Night Football. Now, I said we'd eventually talk about wrestlers at some point during our podcast, and I didn't think it would come to this, but former Minnesota governor and pro wrestler Jesse the Body Ventura made a fool of himself with his take on Vikings history. By the way, Jesse, what happened to the body?
Did old Father Time? We spoke about Father Time before.
Father Time has...
Is he winning?
Yeah, Father. No, he's not winning. He won.
It's a wrap.
So it had
boy.
Ventura leaving a voicemail for new Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell.
This is desperation calling with just one question. Do you understand how we've suffered? 4 Super Bowl losses, decades of disappointment, 77, 87, 98, and for the love of Pete, 2009.
And I'm like, dude, there's no desperation. There's no disappointment. Did we get the job done? No. But if you're an avid, loyal fan, like the deal and the gold, you pay attention and you don't make statements like that. So I never liked you as a wrestler anyway. You were overrated.
Oh, no. You didn't like him as a wrestler?
I did not. No, I did not. So
He does not make my top 10.
Ventura did not do anything for me. And by the way, you were lucky to be governor.
They voted him in.
All right. So we're going to take a quick musical break here as we take it to... Oh, by the way, coming up in the weeks when we actually take it to the house, this is where Michael Jackson would have went over.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it. I'll bring all house calls to the house party.
Right. So we got the section taking it to the house. So we're going to start off with who did it, and then we're going to follow up with our music rendition by
Billy Gold, aka The Rhythm.
House music. Welcome to the 479, the home of the rhythm and the rhyme. We'll never bow down to the other shows. The 479 is the one that knows. Not followers. We are leaders, exceeders, sharp as cleavers. As Snap would say, don't believe the hype. Ours is the show that's a prototype. The 479 is for sure legit. Can I get a witness? We make the picks during the show, making you the money, as you know. Helping you pick your fantasy squad. Back in the day was Ahmad Rashad. Lynch,
Largent, Target, and Moss. With them in our lineup, there was no loss. HOUSE and 479 is where we be. The deal, the boot, and the gun. Sharing our knowledge, having some fun. Thanks for hanging and joining our flow. Week to week, another new show. House music will take us out. It's old school, there is no doubt. House music. Who doesn't like house
The
music?
house is open.
So, as we said, going
House
forward,
party, house call.
you know, we missed the opportunity to bring MJ in there for that house call. But
I'm sure he'll be
somebody
back.
that takes it to the house that not just you just catch a pass. It's got to be like a big play.
You gotta make it. You gotta make
You know,
it.
we could take it. We could take it around the NFL. If there's a big house taking it to the house play around the NFL. We're going to do that.
Let's do it. Let's bring
prior
him
to throw it
in.
out there. All right, breaking news this week. You mentioned it earlier, but we got to get it out there. Your squad fractured Trey Lance's ankle. He's out for the year.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Wish him a recovery. I will say this: if he doesn't stay engaged and he doesn't stay in the building and just continue to learn, whether he sits up in the press box next to the offensive coordinator, he needs to be in the team meetings. He needs to pay attention. This is an opportunity for him to go one of two ways. It could end his NFL career if he doesn't stay engaged.
He'll stay engaged.
Okay, you think
Yeah,
so?
he'll stay engaged. Yeah, 49ers Nation is really, really tight, actually, especially with the players that used to go through there. They won't let him disappear and fall back. He will be in those meetings. He'll be asking questions. Garoppolo will be with him. He'll be trying to support Garoppolo. It's therapeutic for him to do that and be there too.
All right, the eyes are upon him, whether he knows it or not. You know, the actions speak louder than words. Let's see what happens.
All day, every day.
All right, let's get to the real deal moment of the week. Cap, you can join in on this one, and you'll like this one. Okay, I keep hearing about the team's poor clock management on Sunday afternoon in the Broncos game. I keep hearing about it.
Yeah.
Well, the crowd is so frustrated with Russell Wilson already that they were counting down the play clock
To help him,
to help him get the snap off on time.
that's a direct impact from the 12s and being exposed to the 12s on the other side.
Right. So, I mean, Broncos Nation is already saying, Russell, why are you taking so long to get the playoff? Now, I'm not going to attribute it all to him because he's got a brand new rookie coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Nathaniel
definitely not
Hackett.
on the QB if he doesn't have the play.
Right.
supposed
But it
to come to
depends,
him.
but unless he's switching it up at the line and doesn't have enough time to make the cross call, change it up.
Oh, if he's getting confused up there, yeah, I haven't watched him at all, and I have no intentions of watching him again
Of course you don't.
unless we play him again.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the cause is because he's pretty good at time management.
Anyway,
So I don't know if it's the coach or what's
it was
going on.
kind of curious to watch his home team count down the clock for him.
That is bizarre.
All right, let's get outside the box with the real deal. Inside the NFL right here. Cincinnati Bengals offensive line. They're getting a lot of heat right now after their 0-2 start. But I will say, I watch all the NFL. If you look closer, QB Joe Burrow, he's the problem.
Is he holding on to the rock too long?
He's hanging on to the ball too long. He's expecting too much of these guys. I've seen teams, especially with the veteran quarterback, if they know their offensive line is struggling, they get the rock out.
Look at Tom Brady, perfect example. How long does he hold on to the ball? And he's 76 or 77 this year.
Old?
How old is he?
Yeah.
I mean, he gets the ball out faster.
And
probably
he's got
than
no
anybody,
receivers. Everybody's either suspended.
But that ball is coming. No.
Ball's coming. So
gets it out 'cause
And he
he-
played with a bad thumb this week. He hurt his thumb during the game, and he still played through it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So you
Can't hold it.
we're gonna throw stuff out like that. We're gonna look around the rest of the NFL. Let's get to the previews for Week 3. Why don't we go to the Seahawks and what they will do in Week 3?
Well, it's pretty simple. We got the Atlanta Falcons coming in. We just took it on the chin, 27-7. Ugly loss to a division rival. We already went over that. We have a chance to get ourselves regrouped and rerouted and back on track at home. And what better place to get back on track? Got a team coming in. It's 0-2. They'll be hungry. But if we do what we need to do, which is stop trying to play games and look cool, I kind of wish we had a grass field so everybody could be completely muddy after the first quarter and just get it out the way and drive your opponent into the stands until the referee says the whistle needs to blow and you guys got to stop. Don't cut any play short. Control the line of scrimmage. Running backs, don't dance. Hit the freaking hole as hard as you possibly can with your pads low once you get the ball. And then receivers block downfield until we soften up the defense enough until we can start throwing that ball. But establish the run first. Not mad at our special teams at all. We're very young, like I said, but that's no excuse. They just need to keep playing hard and disciplined. Defense, I got some problems with us not controlling the edge and not tackling when we need to tackle. We've gotten a little bit better, but I don't want to see our all-pros missing tackles because then other guys are going to be like, well, if he's getting paid all that money and he ain't making a tackle, what about me? I don't want that culture.
Accountability.
All day, every day. So you want to score?
I do.
Okay. I'm not going to go bananas like I generally, get all fired up and say we're going to score 35 points because I don't think the Hawks are going to score that many points.
The rest of the year?
No, for this game. I think the Seahawks are going to win, though. I do think we're going to beat Atlanta, and it's not going to be a dogfight. If it is, we'll talk about that next week. But I think the Seahawks are going to go in there and get this win 24-10.
There it is.
Let's go. Let's go, 12s. Emerald Nation, Emerald up. Never, ever quit.
Never quit. Too legit to quit.
That's right, baby.
All right, let's get to the Vikings Week 3 preview.
Talk about it.
The Vikings, they host the Detroit Lions, who've started at 1-1 and have played well. I'm very, 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 and I'm very impressed with their wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is really
He's the real deal.
Good.
Kinda.
Is he not JJ? No, but he's JJ 2.0.
No, JJ's 2.0. He's JJ 1.
Yeah, I'm saying he's trying.
He's solid though.
Solid.
He can blow the top off your defense if you don't pay attention to him.
And what I meant to say, he's a step below JJ, but he is a good, really good player.
What's a better car, Porsche or Lamborghini? I haven't driven either, so I don't know.
Customized van.
But I think the Lambos look better. So JJ's a customized van.
I'm going with the customized van.
And my man is a
yeah, exactly.
He's a
tractor trailer or something. Anyway, the Lions, they gave the Vikings fits last year. Fits. Winning the last play, that was Zimmer playing. Zimmer has his cornerback playing in the back of the end zone when they're on the 3-yard line, and the guy does a 3-yard out and we lose the game on the last play of the game. Unbelievable.
Detroit's good.
Yeah. This is a game at home. It's going to be snowing inside.
Yes, it will.
The Vikings need to take care of business. They have to do a lot better against a run and also get their running game going. Let Dalvin cook. Okay?
It's mandatory.
And stop looking one way. Kirk.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
All right. Total games between the Lions and Vikings, 121. All-time record. Vikings got a 79-40 advantage with 2 ties. I got the Vikings winning 30-20.
Kind of a beatdown, a little bit.
Well, a victory.
You do have the opportunity to play and stay undefeated at home.
We do.
And we have the same thing to fight for, so.
Exactly. So you can do your pick on the Vikings when we get to the picks, which is we're getting to right now. So let's get to the rest of the picks. Last week, both of us were 8-8. The yearly totals were still tied at 18, 13, and 1. So if you're betting with us, you are winning some cold, hard cash. So
that's what we do.
We're keeping the pace up. We both finished over 500 last year. You won the crown. I'm hanging tight with you through 2 weeks.
It's neck and neck right now.
It's neck and neck. Keep picking the Seahawks, and I got some chance to gain some ground. Anyway, let's get to the picks.
Go.
Yo, it's time for the picks, the weekly predictions by them guys. Get your notebooks out because they rarely miss. Make way for Captain Book when he makes his picks. You can't touch this dude. Reppin' Hawks in the Emerald Nation. All units, battle stations. So welcome to the battle zone. It's a place where Captain Book is never alone. With his guide, he goes by his side. Sporting purple, always ready to ride. A real
real Viking maniac, never afraid to go on the attack. And when needed and comes the real deal, he's got a real feel for NFL skill. So listen close and get the word. Don't be the one who hadn't heard about Captain Who Can Be Gold. Dropping knowledge, truth be told. Pico picks, battle tested.
Woo! All right. We are on the week 3 picks. First up, the Thursday night game. Steelers travel to Cleveland. Not sure what to make of this game. Really not. So I'm going to go with the home team. Browns get the win 24-23.
Yeah, I got to go with Cleveland, too. I've seen enough from them to know that they are going to be consistent, maybe a little bit more so than Pittsburgh. I got the Browns and the dog pound and all them folks over there getting it done 24-21.
Okay, let's move to the Sunday games. Got the Saints visiting Carolina. I got Mayfield. He's coming to the end of the road of being the starting quarterback. I got Saints winning 30-20.
Ooh, I got the Saints winning also, not by that much, but I'm not impressed with what I see with Mr. Mayfield and that offense right now. So
Sam Darnold.
I am going with the Saints. They're going to get it done 27-14.
27-14. Okay. Houston Texans at the Chicago Windy City Bears. Houston's been okay. Bears have been okay. But I it's a home field. I got Bears winning at home in a low-scoring contest, 17-13.
Yeah, I got the Bears getting it done at home, too. The Bears look pretty good to me. I think they're going to put up 31 points to 14 over Houston.
A lot of points for the Bears.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, that team is going to make some noise. Trust me.
All right. Let's get to the Kansas City Chiefs visiting the Colts in Indianapolis. The coaching seat. The coaching seat is starting to get hot in Indy. Doesn't look like Matt Ryan is the answer. I got Chiefs 38-20.
Yeah, I didn't think that the Colts would look this bad this early with the veteran quarterback, but Kansas City's hot, and Kansas City's going to put up 41 points. Indy's going to get 10.
41-10. Wow, that's a beatdown.
Oh, this might be a game of the week. Let's see which one you pick next.
All right, let's go to the Bills at the Dolphins.
Yeah, game of the week.
This should be a good game. It's not
No
my
doubt.
game of the week, but a good game of the week. Dolphins have a sneaky good offense,
Yes, they do.
but the Bills swim past the Dolphins 31-27.
Yeah, I don't know who can beat Buffalo right now. They are healthy, they are fearless, and they are good. Miami's good too, but not as good as Buffalo, I don't think, from what I've seen. So I'm going with the Bills. I can't go against them right now till they actually lose. So Bills are going to get that one done 35-24.
35-24. Cap's got the Bills. All right, let's move on to the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. As I stated in my preview, I got the Vikes winning 30-20. What say you, Cap?
Yeah, the Vikings will get this W, home being a big factor, and the fact that I don't think Kurt's going to come out and lay another egg
Not
like
two
that
stingers.
in a row, especially at home. He's been through a lot already. Minnesota's going to hold serve at home. It'll be a good dogfight, though. Minnesota's going to win 31-28. It's going to be a little closer than you want, but they're going to get the W.
Hey, at the end of the day,
Get the W.
Exactly.
No doubt.
I leave the room with a win. I don't care if it's 31-30.5. I'll take it.
I hear you.
All right,
Same boat.
let's get to the Ravens coming up to New England to visit the Patriots. I kind of like the Ravens on the road, 24-17.
Yeah, I kind of like the Ravens on the road a little bit more. I think they want to make a statement inside the New England home. And Lamar Jackson's going to go ahead and do that. So they're going to get 37, and New England's going to have 14. They're going to take a beating at home.
All right, so let's talk about Lamar Jackson a little
do
bit
it.
here.
He's got some leverage.
No, let's just maybe talk about a trade request when we get to fantasy.
Let's talk about
All right, we'll talk about when we get to
I
fantasy.
can just deny it.
Well, you,
But I wanna hear
don't
it, though.
play them.
And don't say you want to trade with Socrates and get the running backs from Seattle. And try to trade
No.
those guys too much.
I'm actually going to put Jamar Chase as part of the trade.
Okay.
So we might talk about that in fantasy. All right, let's get to the Bengals.
Let's go.
Coming to the Big Apple, even though it's in New Jersey. Bengals finally get a win, but it's close, 23-16.
Yeah, I got Cincinnati getting it done in New York. I have no idea what the forecast is going to be, but I think it doesn't matter. 24-3.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that defense is going to actually
Flacco's not getting on this.
Flacco may be getting
Flacco's going to be out of gas.
to get processed out of there.
Okay, let's get to the Raiders at the Titans. 2-0-2 desperate teams. The loser season, they're probably both over, but the loser season is definitely over. I think the Titans at home getting the win column, 26-24, close game.
It is going to be close. I'm going to have to. I'll go opposite here. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I think that Carr and his new toy and his homeboy, I think they're going to go ahead and put it together. So I'm going to go with the Raiders. It's going to be tight though, 24-21.
2 catches last week for Devontae Adams.
Yeah, they're going to scheme up for Big Henry, and if that works,
all right,
they'll have a good chance.
Let's get to the Eagles coming off an emotional beatdown of the Vikings. Traveling to Washington, and I don't even like saying their last name because can we get a real name for a football team? The Commanders?
I wish they would have taken that Red Wolf. I think that was one of the options.
Or the Generals. I mean, something.
Hey, it is what it is.
No, it's awful.
Philly's coming in hot regardless.
Wentz is not the answer. Eagles win on the road 30-24.
Yeah, I got the Eagles hold and serve in that environment, hostile division game, but Philly's going to beat them 24-14.
Okay.
They'll win by 10.
Team that's been playing better lately, the Jaguars, Jacksonville Jaguars, go out to LA to take on the Chargers. One of our first 4 o'clock games. Jaguars, they've improved.
They have.
And Herbert is dealing with an injury. They're going to do a little bit more running this week. But the Chargers are just more talented. So I got the Chargers 27, Jaguars 19.
Yeah, I got the LA Chargers getting it done also at home. I do like Jacksonville and what they did last week, but it's not going to get it done in LA. Chargers 30, Jacksonville 20.
Okay. Let's move on to another LA team, the Rams, traveling out to Arizona, face the Cardinals. This is my game of the week.
This is a sketchy game because the scale is totally balanced pretty much.
Are Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts the same guy?
No, but you saw what happened to Kyler after the game last week?
No.
Some fan punched him in his jaw.
Oh, yeah, I did hear that. But I mean, they seem like a similar player. They both can throw. They both can run. They got the same kind of body type.
Yeah.
Maybe Jalen's a little taller, but they seem similar to me.
A little bit.
Okay. I got the Cardinals surviving at home 31-30.
Dang. I'm picking the Cardinals to win also. It's going to surprise a lot of people, but I think they're going to get it done 28-27.
Okay, let's move on to the team that's desperate, the Atlanta Falcons, heading out to
West.
Seattle.
Heading to Lower Alaska.
Yes.
Come see us. What you got?
I got the Seahawks right in the ship at home, 27-24.
You got my score earlier?
I did. You had, yes, I have you have the Seahawks winning.
Of course.
Doesn't really matter what, as long as you pick them. So they're not on course for the 17-0 as you predicted. But they still could be 16-1.
That's possible.
Okay. At Peoples.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the Green Bay Packers visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks have a lot of injuries right now, but we'll keep it close, even with Mike Evans suspended for 1 game. They just signed Cole Beasley today, wide receiver.
I hope he's healthy.
But also, Brady's got a thumb. No, they put him on the practice squad. I'm not even sure he's going to get elevated. I got the Packers winning on the road 2017.
Yeah, I got Green Bay going in there. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to find a way to get this.
He's been killing me in fantasy. He's my starting quarterback.
He's going to be productive, and he always is pretty much.
No, they've been running a lot.
Yeah, but I got the Green Bay Packers going into Tampa Bay and beating them 17-10.
17-10. Yeah, I same thing. Low scoring game.
Yeah.
All right, we got the upstart coming off a large victory, San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, prime time.
Going in to see
prime
the former
time.
starting quarterback for the Seahawks, Denver Broncos.
Oh, it is the truth.
I will say this. The 49ers defense looked really good against the team they played this week.
Yes, they did.
And Denver is struggling right now to find their way. I got the 49ers 27, Broncos 17.
Yeah, I think that's not going to be the score. I got to think that the Broncos are going to go ahead and right the ship at home and shut down some of the noise. And Russell's going to go ahead and put in his work with his tools because it's time to go to work. I got Denver holding it down at home, and hopefully they don't have to try to kick a 64-yard field goal again. But Denver 30, San Francisco 14.
Wow. In Russ, we trust.
They trusted him.
No,
maybe not for long though.
He's
look at this tasty matchup.
He's still in your
Monday
wheelhouse.
He's a baller still.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna stop being one unless he loses all of his fuel.
Let's get to the Monday night game. Dallas Cowboys and
the New York Football Giants.
Right, but who's their quarterback? Somebody Cooper Rush, or what's his name?
Oh, for Dallas, yeah, Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. Now, he has 2 victories in the NFL so far.
Yes, he does.
Last week and last year against the Vikings when he kicked our rear end.
You can get it done.
No, he can't. So, just so we know,
yes.
The worst announcers calling this game in football are calling this game.
Your favorite guys.
Yeah. Okay. But I did see something on TV the other day where Eli Manning and his brother, Peyton Manning,
they do something.
They're on ESPN too, where the game plays and they comment.
Yeah.
I might try that out.
Yeah,
so I can get away from Buck and Aikman.
Try it. It might be fun. And they'll be doing it in real time too, so you can have it synced up with the plays.
I can't stand the Cowboys.
This is personal.
I can't stand Buck and Aikman. So if I can't watch Peyton and Eli, I'm doing something else on Monday. Anything. I might knit.
Go ballroom dancing or something.
I got the Giants holding on at home 23-20.
I got the Giants winning also 24-17.
24-17. Okay, that concludes our picks for the week. Let's move on to the fantasy football segment. Let's get that new music rocking underneath us here. Oh boy.
Fire it up. Fire it up.
All right, let it. All right, you got to bring it down a little bit.
And I say bring it up.
I imagine the rhythm found this song probably. Wicka. All right. Let's talk some fantasy.
Let's do it.
The real deal got smoked by the New Haven Naturals. Smoked.
The New Haven Naturals.
185-85. Sometimes.
That's next to Good Haven.
Sometimes you got to lose the battle to win the war. So watch out, New Haven. I got you in my sights.
You will play them again.
I'll be getting the game plan going. Next up for the real deal is a matchup against the Crimson Knights, who stand at 2-0. Tough squad.
Yeah, they're balling.
Tough squad.
Tyquavius.
Caps team.
He put up 168.
Exactly. A lot of high scoring. Caps team, the Emerald Nation Monsterizers.
Yes.
Won again.
That's it, baby.
He's almost reached his win total for last year. He's got 2.
We're getting there. We need to get one more.
129-86. A beatdown of Access Lord.
We got a tough matchup next week, though.
I got it. Next up is a matchup against George's team, Connecticut G-Hockey. George is
he's balling. He's got a real tight
he's 1-1
roster.
He's 1-1. He can't afford to go to 1-2, so he's gunning for you.
I'm just glad to be in top, second in the West right now.
Exactly. Top Guns team, Connecticut El Grapador. They hung on
that
to
was
beat
a good one.
They hung on to beat Jay's team, Game Hunters BGH, 108-90.
That was a tight one.
That
was a good job.
And now Top Guns team stands at 1-1 on the season. Next up is a matchup against the 0-2 Sheldon squad, Connecticut Wagon Circlers.
Are they circling the wagons already?
Yeah, they're saying he made a couple changes. He dropped Kyle Pitts and he dropped Chris Godwin. The Wagon Circlers, and both of them got scooped up. Naturals picked up Pitts, and G Hockey picked up Chris Godwin. Finally,
may come back to hurt him.
Finally, we do got to talk about Seattle Socrates falling to 0-2. You know what the greatest thing? I looked ahead to the schedule, and I think week 11 and week 14, I get to play him twice. I got 2 guaranteed victories on the schedule.
Wow.
So if it comes down to the end of the season, Socrates, I'm going to beat you by 35 points each time.
You got to step it up, bro. You got to step it up.
Make some changes, and believe me, when there's a drop down menu.
Yourself.
There's a drop down menu. You don't have to pick SEA all the time. Pick ALL all. There's other players.
Oh, Socrates, you got to step it up, brother. He's coming for you. He's been doing it
not
since
coming.
day one.
All right, before we get to another, keep that going, Mike, because I got a little trade proposal. I need you to look at our lineups.
Let's look at it. Where you at? Real deal. Looks like y'all could use some point gatherers.
I'm looking to get. Doesn't matter. I'm going to fix it. I'm looking to get Lamar Jackson, but he went a lot lower than Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase was a top 10 pick. So I want you to come up with some kind of creative fair trade where you can add Chase to your roster. You don't play Lamar Jackson anyway. I'll offer you something up. Not today. Tomorrow I'll send you something. But you can either send me one as well, counter, or just say, I'm not interested. But you know what? You don't want to put Jamar Chase on your lineup for somebody you don't play. You're going to play him once this year. You might want to give that some thought, Cap. That's all. You got it? Yeah, what say you?
Let me see what Lamar did in week 2. Did he do anything for me? 42.62 points.
Yeah, but you didn't play him.
That didn't come back to hurt me. Why would I throw that away?
All right. So it's not coming back to hurt. But, check Jamar Chase's first week.
I'll take a look in the list.
All right, you take a look. Take a look.
But Lamar going to keep rocking that Monsterizer green.
But you got to play him.
He'll play. Josh Allen has a bye week coming.
He'll play once.
No, I'll be looking at the matchups because Josh Allen, he almost doubled what Josh Allen did this week. So.
Yeah, all right.
And he's trying to get that contract rolling. So
I'll throw you a fair deal. You take a peek at it. If not, I'll go elsewhere.
We'll take a look.
That concludes our fantasy segment. So while we get ready to close things out, let's get a little music up and running.
We do love our music here.
We do.
Can't get enough of it. Is this the podcast? This is the podcast, baby. Let's go.
It's the podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. It's a podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. Normally I'm found on the wheels of steel, but the time has come to drop the field. Be Gold is a name that I spin under, but the real deal's a guy who brings the thunder. Back in the day, it was 5 minutes of funk. The deal's on the mic, he ain't no punk. It's cool when I see you freak to the beat. As Eric Beat stated, don't sweat the technique. My lyrics will stand the test of time. Working the crowd with my rhyme. Now it's time to get to the show. Bringing the info so you know it's a podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. It's a podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. If you want history, check 1 and 2. All the episodes have something new. From the front to the back or the bottom to the top. The episodes deliver from the knowledge we drop. The cap is the rhyme and I am the rhythm. Like the defense, we are gonna hit them. With the fun facts and the skull jam. The real deal will continue to rant. Cap brings Hawks news to the show. Never losing sight, keeping the flow. The blue and the emerald green. Cat will tell you who's on the scene. Delivering hits on game day. The bam bam moment for today. It's the podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. Another episode is in the books. Keeping it real with the hooks. Tune in again later next week to hear more from the streets. Bringing the news for our teams. Nothing's off limit, so it seems. Thanks for hanging, checking us out. We'll be back, there is no doubt.
All right, that brings
podcast.
us. It's the podcast bringing
Built to last, baby.
Bringing us to the close of the show. I kind of think we found a new home for that.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Closing.
It's a nice smooth groove to take us to the next level.
Exactly. Scolders, 12s, and all you football fanatics, especially the Scolders and 12s. We had a a little blip in the screen, but we're gonna regroup. We're gonna come back. We hope next episode we're both 2-1. I'm rooting for the 12s. I know Cap's rooting for the Scolders.
Absolutely.
And we have a little fun when the other team has a little mishap or misstep, but it's just part of the show. So thanks for tuning in today for our week 2 recap and our week 3 preview. Please, I got 2 new listeners this afternoon.
Let's get them.
Tell your friends, family, and coworkers about the show. Have them tune in. When they tune in, especially YouTube, subscribe. Follow the show. We got to get that message out there. Our YouTube number, spitting it out to other places in the universe, is really taking off. But unless you subscribe, follow the show, we can't get it out to the rest of the nation.
And we got to do that.
And not only the nation, the world. So let's please like us, subscribe, and make that a point. Vikings made a statement in week 1 that they will be forced to be reckoned with, but week 2, they took a step backwards. So week 3 is upon us, and a home game versus the Lions is on the slate. We need to stay aggressive in our approach, get the momentum back, and let's get a victory. So next episode will be the week 3 recap for our teams. Keep it on, Cap. Bring us home.
All right, so shout out to the Scourgers. I love y'all, and I hope that you and us both go 2-0. So scroll on down your yellow brick road, but I gotta drop something for the Emerald Nation because we went through some things this Sunday. So next week, when we step on the field, the blue and green will not yield. With the Falcons coming to try to take our nest, it's time we show all the birds which one is best. Get your eyes ready for a start that's fast. Not like the recent past. We'll be teaching this class. We will run the 12th man flag right up the mast with the Emerald effort that is built to last. It's called football, and it's meant to be tough. So haters hate on, but get rid of the fluff. Block, hit, and claim the ground. May the opposition respect the Puget Sound. So I'll leave you with this. Our story will be told. Emerald Nation, 12s, and all you football fanatics, fortune favors the bold. Emerald up. Let's go.
Great job. I like that built to last.
That's our theme. We have to be. Peace, y'all.
Skol.